Good morning, children. Welcome back to your English literature class. So today we will continue reading the story A Hasty Judgement. In our last class, we have learned that Walter Howard has come to spend his summer holidays with his friend Jack Treherne. But Jack is not happy with her stepmother because of her little saving ways. Walter, on the other hand, was warmly welcomed by the Treherne family. He enjoyed a hearty meal with all the members of the Treherne family over there. The next day, Mrs. Treherne suggested that they all must go on an expedition to the Castle Cove. So they all were very excited because of their forthcoming journey to the Castle Cove. So Mrs. Treherne started preparing a lunch basket which was stuffed with many delicacies. So students, we have also learned that Jack expressed his wish to carry the lunch basket on their way to the Castle Cove. So I think you all must be very excited to know what happens next. So let's continue with the story today. Now students, let's turn over the page. Let's come to page number 16. Yes, of course, I am not a weakling, Jack said, taking the basket from his father. Weakling here means frail or weak. He said to his father that, of course, father, I can take the big basket because I am not a child anymore. I am very strong. I am not a weak person. A few meters up the path, Jack loitered behind. Loitered behind means lingered behind the others. Suddenly a cry from him made them look round. Jack had tripped over a stone, sending the picnic basket hurtling down the cliff, bursting the bottles and dashing the contents of the basket into fragments on the rocks below. So suddenly everyone can heard that a cry rose from Jack. Jack had tripped over means stumbled over a stone, sending the picnic basket hurtling down. Hurtling down means falling over the cliff in a rapid motion. Bursting the bottles. Bursting means breaking. All the bottles broke down as the picnic basket in a rapid motion, very rapidly came down from the cliff. Dashing the contents. Dashing means completely breaking, completely shattering all the contents that are there in that basket into fragments on the rocks below. Into the fragments. Fragments means little pieces. Okay, it was completely destroyed. All the bottles over there, it was completely destroyed. It broke into small pieces as it fell from the rocks below. So his father was definitely very upset. How could you be so careless, Jack? His father said, quite upset at the accident. But as he never dreamt it was anything but an accident, he did not say much. His father never dreamt that it is not an accident. It was intentionally done by Jack. So he was upset, but he didn't say much to Jack. They were obliged to return to the hotel for a meal, and Walter shrewdly suspected that this was the result Jack had worked for. As Walter was the best friend of Jack, he understood. And Walter was very clever also. Shrewdly means cleverly. He suspected, he guessed that it was intentionally done by Jack. So they had to go to a restaurant now. Because all their lunch basket, whatever the contents were in that lunch basket, everything was completely destroyed. Because it fell down from a cliff. So that is why they had to go to a restaurant now to have their lunch. So students, from page number 16, we have learned a great deal of new words. Let us take a quick look at it. Weakling means weak or frail, as I have told you, all these words. Loitered behind means lingered behind. Tripped over means stumbled over or fell over. Hurtling means moving very fast. Bursting means breaking. Dashing means hit something with a great force, causing damage. Fragments means pieces. Obliged to here means forced to. And shrewdly means cleverly. Suspected means guessed. So these are some of the new words that we have learned from this page, page number 16. Now students, let's move to page number 17. However, the lunch was a huge disappointment. A crowd of tourists had consumed everything in the shape of food, leaving very little for anyone who came after. So the lunch was not at all good. It was a huge disappointment, means it was a huge letdown. Nobody was happy because the lunch was not at all good. Okay? Because everything was eaten by the, consumed here means eaten. It was eaten. All the foods were already eaten by the tourists because the place was absolutely filled up with tourists. So the tourists had already eaten many of the things over there. So the picnickers had to make do. Make do here means manage. They had to manage with the cucumber sandwiches, chips and cold drinks only. Okay? Oh dear, sighed Mrs. Treherne, to think that the nice cheese sandwiches, hard-boiled eggs, the lovely chicken patties and strawberry puffs are now floating away to the sea. Oh, how horrible. So sighed means long deep breath expressing sadness. So Mrs. Treherne was obviously very sad because the things that he made for them were the cheese sandwiches, hard-boiled eggs, the chicken patties and strawberry puffs. Aren't that delicacies, students? Obviously these are delicacies. These are good food that Mrs. Treherne remembered. She had filled her lunch basket with these delicacies, and these delicacies are now floating away over the sea because the basket had fallen down over the sea because of Jack. It was completely destroyed. So all the delicacies are now floating over the sea. So obviously Mrs. Treherne was upset. What an idiot you have been, whispered Walter to Jack. Walter said to Jack that you are an idiot. Whatever you have done, it's completely wrong. That is a true friend like. A true friend makes you understand what is wrong and what is right. And so Walter here has just done the same thing. The thing that is right for him to do at such a situation. He made him realize that it was completely a wrong thing that Jack had done. Walter's tone of voice left Jack in no doubt that his friend meant what he said. Jack also understood that his friend is also not happy for his behavior, for such a behavior. When Mrs. Treherne pulled out some money in order to pay the bill, his wife gave another sigh. Means he was very upset. Both Mr. and Mrs. Treherne was upset because the lunch basket that they have made after much effort, it was completely being damaged. So both of them were obviously very upset because of that incident. So from page number 17, from this page we have learned some new words. Make do means manage. Sighed means taking long deep breath, expressing sadness. Whispered means murmured or speaking to someone in a very low voice, or muttered, that we have learnt already. So let's come to the next page, that is page number 18. This is worse than the cold soup. It isn't it? He asked, laughing. The savings from 4 such lunches got Jack his. Suddenly his father stopped abruptly. Then she laughed too and held up a warning finger, like Mrs. Treherne saying to his husband to stop him from disclosing some secret. that Mr. Treherne was about to say. "Hush!" she whispered. "Hush! Quiet! Don't say. You must not let out my secret." Must not let out means must not disclose my secret. I have a secret. What is the secret? That we will come to know, student, very soon. "I think we must share it with Jack," said Mr. Treherne. "It will make him more careful in future when we trust him with the lunch basket." So Mr. Treherne said that let it be known to Jack. It will make him responsible in future. He had noticed his son's scornful look when the settlement of the bill was mentioned and had partly guessed what was in his mind. So scornful means disrespectful. Okay? And partly means half. "I wanted it to be a surprise," Mrs. Treherne said, "but since you have let the cat half out of the bag, you might as well let it out fully." Let the cat half out of the bag means let half of the secret out. Okay? So Mrs. Treherne said, as you have partly disclosed the secret, let it be out completely. What is the secret? "Well, Jack," his father said, "you know you have been bothering me for a new phone, but I told you I could not manage such a piece of extravagance. Now you'd have to wait another year." Extravagance means, students, it means wasteful spending of money on unimportant things. The meaning is written in page number 20 in your book only. It is written, okay? So he said that you are bothering me, you are nagging and annoying me for a long time over a new phone. Because you said that your older phone, the old phone was of no use. So that is why you are bothering me, and I told you that I couldn't pay such heavy price. So I managed to give you a surprise, and the surprise was a new phone, and that new phone was there in that lunch basket. Okay, that was fallen down from the cliff, and the new phone was there in that lunch basket. Okay, so you have to wait for another year to have that phone again. "My old one is of no more use than a turnip," Jack interrupted in a conversation. Turnip means it is a kind of a vegetable. Okay, it means that he is trying to say that my old phone is of no use. It is completely of no use. So that is why it is just like a vegetable of no use. "All the money, all the more pity that the new one went over the cliff with the lunch," remarked his father. So his father said it was a pitiful thing, it is a pitiable thing that the new phone went over to the cliff in the sea. It has fallen down into the sea with the lunch basket that you have dropped. Okay, the phone was there as a surprise gift for you into that lunch basket. Your mother has saved the money and she had bought a new phone, and that phone was kept into the lunch basket as your surprise, and you have thrown the lunch basket into the sea and it was completely destroyed. The phone was also gone with the lunch basket. "What do you mean?" Jack asked in bewilderment, means in confusion. He didn't understand what they are saying. Mr. Treherne looked at his wife. "It was your plan, you'd better explain it," he said. "You see, Jack," she began, "it seemed rather hard. You should not have a new phone when you wanted one so badly." So Mr. Treherne said that, "Mrs. Treherne, you please explain it to Jack, because it was your idea that you wanted to give him a surprise. It was your idea, absolutely. So you must explain it to Jack now." So students, from page number 18 we have learned some of the new words also. Like let out means disclose, scornful means disrespectful, partly guessed means half suspected, cat half out of the bag, it means to let half of the secret out, extravagance means wasteful spending of money on unimportant things, bothering means nagging or annoying, turnip it means a vegetable, and bewilderment means confusion. So these are the words that we have learned from page number 18. Okay.